Yo, what's up, YouTube, man? Good morning, man. Real quick, man, I just made this video because I had went on YouTube and I had some comments, specifically from Keynote 3 times, man. Fans say he getting ready to come home in a few months. He been gone for a minute, and really, that had touched me, inspired me, and compelled me to make this video. Cause like I had really just like been, trying to get my little situation together, because I've been going through a lot dealing with my motor vehicle report, and I wasn't even planning to make no video. I just did this right here, like I said, because like bruh said he finna come home, and that really had, touched me different. That hit different, you know what I'm saying? When you hear somebody returning, to society from incarceration, because like me myself, that's something that I can relate to, like with I'm an alumni, 23 calendars, leave it like that. But shout out to all the new subscribers, man. Y'all don't know, I ain't just ducking y'all, man. It kind of like really mess with me that I ain't got no videos to give y'all right now. But real quick, when I jumped in the Cdl game, my MVR was messed up, so I had to start from the bottom of the barrel. And when I say start from the bottom of the barrel, I mean the bottom of the barrel. Like I had to unbox myself in, cause after I finished with my trainer, somebody from the company, they hit me up. They were like, man, listen, we got a position, where you just regional. Regional is just, a few states: Georgia, Florida, Alabama, sometimes Tennessee, sometimes South Carolina. So, I'm thinking, all right, that's cool. I do that, because I don't, from the level I'm at, the level I was at that moment, I didn't even feel like I was even qualified. Even though I was being put inside a truck as a driver, I did not feel, I'm gonna say comfortable. I did not feel comfortable, you know what I'm saying, going around hills, mountains, and all that right there, So I jumped on that regional position, because I was ducking that wreck with them hills and mountains and all that stuff, So, when you regional, you limited. You only have a few places that you can go. So that right there had boxed me in, even though I was already boxed in with a bad company. And then, like the other videos say, they had a pay scale implemented in that company that was there before I got there, and it was probably there after I left. That pay scale, it was like, man, you do 2,100 miles, you get a guaranteed minimum of 1,200. But like, I talked so much trash. I told them how easy it was, and then they finally gave me the opportunity to show them how easy it was. And what I did was I did 3,015 miles in 1 week, regional. I was trying to do that little 2,100. I was trying to bust that by 1,000, but it didn't end up like that. But I got pretty close. I wasn't number what, 96 miles off, no, 85 miles off, So after that, instead of being celebrated, I was basically hated. You know what I'm saying? They ain't like that I had done did that, and then they really had, you already boxed in because it's regional, but then they had really done had done cut my miles back after that. So with that being said, I had got too big for the program, and I had wanted to get that leash off my neck, so I decided to leave and go join Super Ego. I don't know why I did that. When I went to Super Ego, I ain't know nothing about them. I ain't do no research. And what happened was I went there for the money. So the first truck I had, the very first thing I did was I went and recovered a truck. And the recovery paid $1,000 after I completed the first 2 loads. So I did that, got them $1,000. You know what I'm saying? I went from making like $300 a week at Western to $700 to $1,000 for doing 2 recoveries. That was a $700 jump, you know what I'm saying, just for doing a recovery and dropping off 2 loads, I meant to say. And then after that right there, I did my first full week. I ain't had that leash on, and my truck had gross $8,500. But you know, super ego. They don't care who you is. They just gonna try you, you know. So my truck grossed $8,500, and out of the $8,500, they cut me a check for $900. So you know, like, we ain't even gonna talk about that. That ain't. Y'all already know how. Y'all could imagine how that went. So I leave Super Ego, and Biller. They have a terminal right there in Jacksonville. So you know, Super Ego terminal was in Jacksonville as well. So you know, I'm finna drop Super Ego off their truck, and I'm finna go to Biller. They had them put me in a hotel for the weekend. They had them order me some Uber. I was in the hotel eating. And then, you know, the day for orientation come, and then Biller tell me my NVR report messed up. I'm like, what? How my NVR report? How y'all ain't know that? Like, what's going on? Like, how y'all got me in a hotel, y'all feed me, and then, you know, the day of orientation, y'all tell me, you know, my NVR, y'all can't accept it. And man, after that though, I was finna get with Trans Am, but the dude that orchestrate the transportation of potential employees, you know, him and we had a disagreement, and Trans Am, they ain't want to touch me based on the disagreement that I had with that individual. So you know, like, basically, like, since then I basically just been unemployed, and I reached out to my CDL classmates, and both of them told me that, you know, they can get me a job back home. So, you know, I came back home thinking if I get a Class B local job that, you know, the insurance issue, the NVR issue won't be so strict. The requirements and the criteria will be less, you know. And come to find out, it's identical. It's identical. When you got a messed up NVR report, you just got a messed up NVR report. No insurance companies is going to want to hire you, you know. So that's where I'm at right now. I came down here, I did an interview for Palm Trans up there in West Palm Beach. Interview went good, you know, because I'm an experienced CDL driver. I was able to answer a lot of questions. And the lady on the end, I want to say her name, because it was a 3-panel interview when you get to talking to the people. And I think the lady on the end on the left, her name was Claudia. And she asked me one question, and she was like, you know what, out of everybody, you the first person to get it right. But that just comes from, you know what I'm saying, being, you know, knowledgeable of the world, how the world works, and just having CDL experience. That's how that went. But my interview with Waste Pro went good. I did the driving test. I did the skills test, the neighborhood driving test, and I did the drug test. I did the background check with Waste Pro, and then what happened was the background check had came back good on the criminal history. So we had moved forward to the drug test, and then I knocked down the drug test. That ain't gonna never be a problem with me, you know. I done been there and done that. I ain't trying to, you know what I'm saying, go backward. I'm trying to go forward. And after the drug test, I was waiting to do my physical assessment to be a residential rear-end truck driver for Waste Pro. And my NVR had came back. My NVR was dirty. I had too many tickets. So I did not get that job. But, you know, I talked to Art over there. He's the hiring manager. I talked to Art. I told him my situation. I came back down to Florida, you know, strictly thinking that I was finna, you know, be working and getting a job. And, you know, I have really put all my tickets on the application, and I thought that y'all was aware of this. And he was like, yeah, but it is what it is, insurance policies. And he was like, man, I'm gonna do the best I can for you. And truth be told, he has. So even though I can't get the job as a truck driver, he's breaking down barriers to allow me to get the job as a helper on the back. So, you know, that's all I'm waiting on. Art transferred my interview, transferred my background check, transferred my drug screening, and he's currently he sent me the offer letter yesterday. I just signed it, and he's currently working on getting me a position as a helper on the back. So that's where I'm at, and that's why I ain't been making no videos. And what happened was I had recently I had got a ticket. I had got a ticket on May 27, 2025. And on May 30th, 2025, I had a Georgia Cdl license. So this ticket that I got, it has my father's name on it, but it has my car. You know what I'm saying? And on the license part, it says non-CDL. I don't know if y'all can see that. Let me see if I can help y'all see that. The ticket says non-CDL license. Somewhere on there it says non-CDL license. And you know, again, it has my father's name on it, Tony President. And as crazy as it sounds, but like, my name is Tony President Jr. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if y'all can see that. My name Tony President Jr. and my father's name is Tony President. You know what I'm saying? That's my father's name. So, you know, my father's a grown man. He drive, he got a license, but he's an older grown man. And I don't know if he was in and out the hospital. I don't know what the situation is, but you know, down here, it's a lot of scams that be going on. So he probably thought that, you know, like, it was a scam, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what he thought, you know what I'm saying? Truth be told, my father and I, we never been close whatsoever, you know what I'm saying? When he was living in Cleveland, Ohio, I went and stayed with him for a little while, and then I had to come back down to Florida because some legal stuff. And then when I got out of prison, my mother asked me to stay with him for a little while until I got on my feet. But that didn't last long. It couldn't last long. Like, when you play chess, two kings ain't never side by side. You know, I'm a grown man, you a grown man. So it just didn't work. And you know, so that ticket right there that's messing me up now, I'm going through the process of trying to get the courts to understand that, you know, not only was I in a whole nother entire state working, but the ticket was mailed to the actually real wrong person, who just so happened to be a senior adult who probably was in and out the hospital during that time, and probably just never did, you know what I'm saying, open the envelope, you know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to let them know, like, look, I was never properly notified. Now, who was to say if you would have put my name on there, then he probably would have told my mother about it. He probably would have reached out to her, and then she probably would have told me about it, and then I probably would have had the opportunity to address it. So that's what I'm going through right now. I can't get a job driving nothing. I can't get a job driving for Uber. I can't get a job driving for Domino's. I can't get a job driving for Instacart. You know what I'm saying? I got to get this ticket fixed, because, like, on my record, this ticket makes 3 tickets in a 3-year time frame. So that's what I'm going through. That's why I haven't been making any videos. But getting back to Ken 03 times, you had wanted to know how you get your CDLs. So out of everything I had been going through from the time I got out to right now today, what I recommend to you, brother, and I recommend to anybody who finna get in the CDL game, like, if you want to be home every night, if you want to make guaranteed money, then I would recommend being local, getting a Class B job, and joining a company that has company paid or company sponsored CDL training. Waste Pro, they have a company paid, company sponsored CDL training program. It's called Cohort. Walmart has a company-paid, company-sponsored CDL employee training program. Publix has a company-paid, company-sponsored CDL paid training program. I would recommend joining a company that has company paid sponsored CDL training, because that way you're already an employee. If you just go to CDL school, like, you're going to be in CDL school for anywhere from 4 weeks to 12 weeks, and you're going to be a full-time student. So how are you going to make money to survive with the cost of living when you're in class 5 days a week, 8 hours a day? If you're a full-time student, then you're not going to be a full-time employee. So you see the conflict. But versus if you join a company that has company paid and sponsored CDL training, then you're already employed, you're already getting paid, and you're going to continue to get paid while you're being trained to get your CDLs. That's what I would recommend right now today to anybody who are trying to get their CDLs. Just get employed at one of these companies that's going to pay you to do something, and then tell them you want to join a CDL program. I'll recommend that any day of the week, you know. But again, that all depends on what you as an individual is trying to get into. Some people, they want to be over the road, you know, and, you know, basically being over the road, you know, you're going to have to deal with DOT, you're going to have to deal with weigh stations. You can fly past them weigh stations. Out of all the time I've been driving, honestly, I can really count on one hand that, you know, out of 8-9 months that I drove, I can count on one hand how many times I ever stopped at a weigh station. And, you know, that's just the reality of it. But like with being a company driver, a local driver, home every night, you know, you're going to deal with the police more than anything. And that's going to be like somewhat kind of rare, as long as you within the county, within the city. You hardly ever see a commercial motor vehicle getting pulled over within the city. That's rare, you know what I'm saying? But hey, yo, Kino, 3 times, bro. Salute to you. I'm happy you made it. May God bless you, watch over you on your journey. That goes to everybody out there that's driving. May God watch over y'all, protect y'all, guide y'all on y'all journey, keep y'all safe. You know what I'm saying? Keep y'all alert. And by all means, man, whatever y'all do, man, I can't stress to y'all enough, man. Protect y'all license. You know what I'm saying? Call your clerk of court every Friday, every Monday, once a week on your day off. Call, check on your license, get a status update, because, you know, like, things happen, people move. You know what I'm saying? And to be honest with you, like the ticket that I'm fighting, I just found out yesterday that my father wasn't even at that address when that ticket got mailed out. You know what I'm saying? And you know, like, when that ticket was mailed out in May, and I started working in June. And first of all, in Florida, they don't just mail you a ticket, they mail you a notice of violation. Within 2 weeks, the information hit the computer. After the information hit the computer, they mail you a notice of violation, and that's like 30 to 60 days. And you know, after you don't make that payment for that notice of violation, then it escalates into a ticket. Then after it escalates into a ticket, then they suspend your license. And just so happened, I was calling about another ticket, the one where I had got 30 miles per hour over the speed limit, and that's when they told me about that one. What I did, I immediately hired the ticket clinic based on their previous experience. The ticket clinic jumped on my case. They filed a motion to set a trial date, but they did not file a motion to reinstate my license. And on November 18th, I was in the process of driving from Atlanta, Georgia, Lithia Springs, somewhere in that area. I was taking a load to Birmingham, Alabama. And, you know, that's when I found out about the ticket, talking to the clerk of the court over the phone. That's when I hired the ticket clinic. And the lawyer, he filed the motion for the trial. When I called back that night, I asked them, well, is my license good? Can I drive in the morning? They said no. So at that point, in order to drive, I was forced to pay the ticket. I was forced to pay the reinstatement fee just so I could drive with a clean license. And by me paying the ticket, even though it's in my father's name, you know what I'm saying, it was a admission of guilt. So like right now, that's what I've been doing, like since I came back to Broward. I got back to Broward April 23rd, and I just been going back and forth trying to figure out how to fight this ticket, you know what I'm saying? But I ain't gonna hold y'all, man. I love y'all, I miss y'all. That's really all why y'all ain't been getting no videos. And I look forward to making more videos when I get on the back of that garbage truck and when I get in the driving seat of that driver's truck. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep y'all updated on my Cdl journey. It ain't just about my job, it's my Cdl journey. I'm gonna keep y'all updated. And man, to all the new subscribers, I really apologize for not giving y'all no shout out, not telling y'all thank you by the name that y'all use to subscribe. Normally I do that, but it's just that, like I say, I wasn't even intending on making this video this morning. It's just that, you know, Keno 3 times, he hit me in the heart. It hit different when you have somebody who are coming out the system and coming back to society, because I know everything that I've been through. I know it's a tough transition. And you know, 3 years later, I'm still trying to transition over. You know, you just can't unlearn everything you learn to survive on a day-to-day basis. You just can't unlearn those things. You know what I'm saying? But you do have to learn what's going on out here. And you do have to understand that you can't take these people serious. And like, they really just don't be knowing what they be doing, knowing what they be saying. And you just got to move, you know, according to your mission and your goal. And I can't explain it. I can't even put it in words. But man, I love y'all. I miss all y'all, man. I hope everybody stay safe out there on them roads. And man, I want to see everybody get inside that truck, get to that money, and just enjoy their life, man. But the first thing you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to protect them license. You're gonna have to protect them license. Yes, sir. And you're gonna have to drive safe, and you're gonna have to be focused, and you gotta keep the road straight, keep the road safe. Cause you know, like, that could be your grandma, that could be me, that could be your next door neighbor driving in that car while you in that truck. You know what I'm saying? You got a lot of people who like to do drugs and smoke alcohol and get behind the wheel. But you know, these trucks, man, they could take your life. You know what I'm saying? But with that being said, man, I look forward to sending y'all some more videos. I thank everybody for tuning in. And man, may God be with us all, man. Love y'all and respect y'all, man. Y'all stay safe.